Do you know what countable and uncountable nouns are? And why is it important that you, as a nutritionist, know how to use them properly? Well, if you don't worry, because in this mini class, you are going to learn all you need to know about countable and uncountable nouns. Are you ready to start? Hello, welcome to this new mini class. Today I am speaking in English and we are going to start learning about countable and uncountable nouns. This topic is long, so I have separated the topic into two parts. Today we are going to work with part number 1. So, if you are ready, we can start. Well, first, let's begin by saying what is a noun. Okay? So, nouns are words that refer to people, places, objects, abstract concepts. And here we have some examples of nouns. Nouns that refer to people are man, woman, doctor, maybe a name like Mary. And nouns that refer to places, we have home, hospital, city, Europe, for example, another name. Or nouns that refer to things, we have table, chair, banana, water. And abstract concepts, for example, hunger, love, and there are many more. Yes, these are just some examples. So, now that we know what a noun is, we should identify that in English, we have two different categories of nouns. Nouns can be countable, and this means that we can count these objects or these nouns. We can separate them into units. And on the other side, we have uncountable nouns. These type of nouns are the ones we can't count. So we can't separate them into units. Let's see some examples of this. For countable nouns, we have some examples here. We can say patients. We can count 1 patient, 2 patients, 3 patients, all the patients that you have. Eggs, we can count the eggs. Tomatoes, chair, table, kitchen, grape, 1 grape, 2 grapes, 3 grapes, and sandwich or sandwiches. Okay? And some examples of uncountable nouns, the ones that we cannot count. For instance, butter, milk, sugar, meat, water, olive oil, orange juice, and honey. These are only examples. There are many more, yes? And always remember that sometimes the countable and uncountable nouns in Spanish don't coincide with the ones in English. So we have to know which nouns are countable or uncountable in English, because maybe it's not the same in Spanish. Good. Now, maybe you are asking, and why is this information important? Well, because once we know if a noun is countable or uncountable, we know what rules we can apply to that word, to that noun. For example, in the case of countable nouns, we know that we can use plural or singular forms for them. We can say patient or patients, egg or eggs. Another important characteristic is that we can use a number in front of them. For example, we can say 1 sandwich, 2 sandwiches, 10 sandwiches. Yes? And another important characteristic is that when we know if a noun is countable, we know what type of words or verbs we can use with them. In the case of countable nouns, we can use singular or plural words, singular or plural nouns, depending on the situation, the sentence. For example, I can say, this is my patient. This is a singular word, and is a singular verb because patient is singular. And these are my patients with the plural word and the plural verb for the plural form of the noun, patients. Okay? So these 3 characteristics are applied to countable nouns. Now, what happens with uncountable nouns? In that case, we should remember that we can't use plural forms of these nouns. We use only singular forms. So we say sugar. We don't say sugars. That's incorrect. We say water. We don't say waters. That's incorrect. Apart from that, we can't use numbers in front of them. So I can't say 1 water or 1 milk or 2 honey, okay? Because they are only singular. So we can't use numbers with them. And finally, we can only use singular words and singular verbs with them. For example, there is, with the singular verb, some orange juice in the fridge. Or this olive oil is delicious, with the singular word this and the singular verb is. No plurals with them. Good, but maybe now you are asking, okay, so I can never mention an uncountable noun in a plural form. Well, there is a solution for that. And we can make uncountable nouns plural and count them if we incorporate a container. What are containers? The ones that you can see, for example, in this picture. A piece of, a box of, a bottle of, a tin of, a bowl of, a can of, a carton of, a bar of, and then after this container, we incorporate the uncountable noun. In that form, we can count the uncountable nouns. So we can say, for example, 5 bars of chocolate. Chocolate alone is uncountable. But if I say bars of chocolate, the bars I can count. So I can say, for example, 5 bars of chocolate. The same happens with milk. Milk is uncountable. But if I say bottles of milk, that I can count. So I can say 2 or 3 bottles of milk, for example. Good? Okay. Now, to finish, I added some extra information for you to know. Sometimes, in some cases, nouns can be countable or uncountable. depending on the situation. Here I will give you some examples. For example, the word number 1 is glass. Glass is uncountable when I refer to the material, but it is countable when I refer to the object that I use to drink. In that case, it is countable. The same happens, for example, with chicken. If I refer to the food, chicken, that is uncountable. But if I refer to the animals, that is countable. And finally, the same happens with some beverages. For example, coffee, beer, tea, soda. When I refer to this beverage in general, yes, like for example, the coffee, in general, I refer to that as an uncountable noun. But if I speak about the drink itself, in that case, you can count them. So it is countable. Well, this is it for today, for part number 1. Here below, you are going to find a downloadable activity that you can, of course, download and do to practice all the things that we have been studying in this mini class. I hope that it has been very useful. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next mini lesson. Bye-bye.